Hey, hi, good evening, everyone. Good evening, friends. Right, welcome back to our day four, session on Power BI. So, we'll quickly recap what we have covered in the last session, and we'll start for the topic today. Right. So, friends, in the last session, we have started working on a data set, right? So, we started the first component of Power BI. It is Power Query Editor. What does Power Query Editor does? First of all, queries are nothing but tables in Power BI, and we can edit these tables in order to do any kind of cleaning activities, transformations. Okay, so Power Query Editor component helps us. Yep. So in the last session, we have saved a file. A Power BI file has been saved, and today I have reopened the file, the same file, and I'll continue from where we have stopped. Okay, so let me do it, friends. Post launching Power BI desktop, I have reopened the same file. Okay, what we have saved in the last session, and towards the left side of Power BI desktop, we have views, and by default there are three views: report view, table view, or data view, and the third one is model view. Okay, so recently, probably in a year, Power BI have also added DAX query view. Then, apart from views towards right side, we'll have panes, data pane, visualization pane, and filters pane. So, if you remember, we are working on employees data. Okay, so there is an organization called TechTech, and from this particular organization, we are working on the employees data of TechTech. Right. So these are the columns. These are the columns that we have. And actually, if you observe properly, yes, tell me, all the columns, are they arranged the same manner? Because I remember the first column is first name, but I don't see the same first name column, you know, being part of. It's not placed at the top. It's not in the first place of employees data, which is actually imported in Power BI desktop. What might be the reason actually? Friends, the columns that you see, all of them will be arranged in alphabetical order. So we have first name as one of the column name and in the data. So the same first name we'll observe, you know, probably in the middle of the data set, the table, because F doesn't come alphabetically first, right? So we have a column starting with alphabet A, which is age. So all of these columns, if you notice, they are arranged in alphabetical order. Okay, understood actually. Then what is this sigma kind of summation symbol? And this summation symbol is not present for all the columns. Only a few columns have the summation symbol. What does that indicate? Okay, summation symbol that we are able to look as part of data ping for each and every field, each and every column represents that these columns hold numerical values. Okay, the values, the entities that are present in these columns are numeric. Okay, so age, it's a number. Then what is next to age? Bonus. Bonus also, depending on the performance, they get the bonus, employees. So it's a number. Then projects number. Then performance, it's a number. Salary, it's a number. So only for these five columns, we observe summation symbol towards the left side of the column name. Towards the left side of the column. Then a calendar icon is being visible for a date column. So what we can easily identify is if there is summation column, summation symbol, it tells that the values or the numeric values are present in these columns, and if there is no summation symbol, that means some kind of non-numeric data, categorical data, text data is present in rest of the columns. And if you observe any calendar kind of icon, it represents date. And if there is any kind of clock, it represents time. So depends on the symbols, we will be easily identifying the values or what kind of data present in each and every field. Okay, right. Now let us quickly open Power Query Editor. What is the process, friends? The process includes under Home tab. Under Home tab, there is queries ribbon, and a queries ribbon will have transform data option. Just click on the drop down and click on transform data. So this automatically opens Power Query Editor. Okay. Afi, why you are going in this way? Why don't you load the data again? Friends, I already have the data. See, you observe here, I already have the data. Data is already imported. So I need not again do the same process. I need not click on get data, then select Excel workbook, not required, because data is already imported into Power BI. Okay, so I use the same data and I'll continue with rest of the exercises. Okay, I have clicked on transform data, Power Query Editor launched. So is this the data that we have at the last moment of yesterday's session? Yes. So towards left side, we'll have the complete information regarding queries, nothing but tables. And towards right side, we'll have the information regarding applied steps on that specific query, on that specific data table. Okay, so we have removed some kind of top rows, then we have promoted the headers manually, then Power BI automatically detected the type, but still in some cases it was unable to do it. So we have removed some columns. The column which has completely null values has been removed, and we have removed errors from the data. Okay, and we also removed, okay, after removing the errors, we change the type. So these are the steps that we have performed on the data, and we have understood majority of the options that are present in Home tab, right? Apart from merge and append, the important options that we have under Home tab, rest of them, like say to remove rows, okay, or to remove top rows, bottom rows, or alternate rows, or to remove duplicates. Yep. So friends, did we remove duplicates? No, we did not remove duplicates. What is the process, or how can we know that we have duplicates in this data or not? Okay, so if you see here, there are in total 41 rows, 41 records, and 11 columns. There are 11 columns, right? So I want to just know how many duplicates are present in this table, in this data. For that, I just use Home tab. Under Home tab, there is reduce rows query, reduce rows ribbon. Under reduce rows ribbon, we have keep rows as one of the options. Just click on that keep rows. You will have an option like keep duplicates. That means it identifies the rows which are duplicated, which have duplicated rows, duplicated values, and it keeps only those rows. So let me select this. Oh, did I select? I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to select any of the column. I'll click on this now. Make sure that you unselect all the columns because you are identifying the duplicates, right? So what is a duplicate? Duplicate means the entire row should be repeated as is. Okay, so each and every value present in each and every column should match. If it is matching in each and every column, it is treated as duplicate, right? Now I'll do it again. I'll click on keep rows, then keep duplicates. See. So it means out of 41 rows that I have, 6 rows, you observe properly, 6 rows, are they duplicates? No. Akhil, why no? Because we have selected that we want only duplicates. Then how can you say no? Friends, when you try to use this keep duplicates option, it also gives you the original one. So even we are not sure is row 1 the original or row 2 original, because row 1 and row 2 contain same information. Olivia is the first name and last name is Garcia. Okay, age is 65. So it is repeated. But are you sure row 1 is original and row 2 is duplicate? No, right? So no, none of us are aware of which is original and which is duplicate. So in that case, what Power BI does is it gives us both original and duplicate. So all these 6 rows that I have, that means this is, if I assume that first one is original, second one is duplicate. So 1, then 2 and 3. So I have 3 duplicates in my data. I have 3 duplicates in my data. So what does that mean? Out of 41 records, 3 records are a duplicate. Okay. So let us remove those duplicates. For that, I'll unselect this step so that I'll get the original data. So this is my original data, 41 rows. Now I'm supposed to remove the duplicates. And before you remove the duplicates, make sure you unselect all the columns. Because if you select that any column, it tries to remove the duplicates only from the column. But what is our requirement? Requirement is to remove duplicates from the data, not from the column. So let me remove, unselect, done. None of the columns are selected. Yes. Let us remove the duplicates. So 41 minus 3 will be 38. 38 rows. Now, is our data containing any duplicates? No. Data does not contain any duplicates. For cross-checking, I'll do the same thing. I'll unselect the columns again. Now I'll again go and select keep duplicates. So the table should be empty. I hope it's clear, friends. So identifying duplicates is a tricky one in the sense, are you going to get the duplicates from any column or from the data? If you want to remove the duplicates from the data or if you want to identify the duplicates from the data, make sure none of the columns are selected. Because if you select any of the column, what Power BI understands is, so you are going to try to remove or you are going to identify duplicates only from the selected column. Because see, my name is Akhil. So can I have people on the globe with the same name? Yes. There are n number of people who have the same name. So what if you try to remove the duplicates from first name? Obviously, see, Olivia, Olivia, Olivia. So that doesn't mean these 3 folks are same. They are different. When you combine this first name with last name, these 3 are 3 different women. Okay, so let us not generally try to remove duplicates based on one column. It's better if we remove the duplicates by taking the entire data into consideration. Okay, so the same process for identifying the duplicates. Go and select keep duplicates so that you identify how many number of duplicates are present in the data. So these keep duplicates also written as both original and duplicate, but when you try to remove the duplicates, it removes only the duplicates. Original will be as is. So that's what happened, friends. 41 minus 3, it's 38 rows. Now, so I'll keep this aside because it's time to discuss about append queries and merge queries. Okay, it's time to discuss about append queries and merge queries. Right. So, but before I discuss append queries and merge queries, I have to go back to SQL, structured query language, because these two topics we generally use in SQL. So I'll give a quick introduction about SQL, then we'll actually understand these two topics, friends. Right. So how many of you are aware of SQL? Use the chat, keep it on the chat if you are aware of SQL. Just so that depending on the audience level, I'll maintain the pace. Structured query language. No idea? Okay. No. Right. So SQL stands for structured query language. Okay. Okay. Right. So SQL stands for structured query language, friends. Okay. So it's a language, but is it a programming language? No. Okay, it's a query language, and this SQL, okay, is generally used to communicate with the database. Okay, so this is DB, database. What is a database? Database is a container, or it's a place where the structured data is stored. The structured data is stored in the form of tables. So within a database, you can have n number of tables, friend. Okay. Yes. See, if I want to store my employees' data, okay, I'll go and create a table with the name employees, and I can store their information. Okay. So this is employees' data. Then in the next table, I'll store department data. So different departments in a company, yes. So I'll store all the departments data. So in this way, I can store the complete information or the complete data, okay, with respect to organization or with respect to a project, whatever it might be, friends. But it should be structured. Okay, what do you mean by structured data? Structured data is nothing but data which is present in the form of tables. What is a table? Table is nothing but the combination of rows and columns. Okay, so combination of rows and columns. Okay, will give us a table. Will give us a table. So data which can be stored in the form of table with predefined schema. What is this schema? Schema is nothing but, you know, it's a data definition. That means if I'm going to store, say, employee ID, one of the column name is employee ID. So what kind of data can we expect here? We can generally have only integers. So this schema, the type of data that we are going to store in this column should be upfront decided when we create a table. Okay, so that is nothing but schema, friends. So data which is stored in the form of tables with predefined schema is nothing but structured data, and within a relational database management system. Okay, you take any of the software, only relational database management system, we can store structured data. And in order to communicate with these databases, we need a language. That language is named as SQL, structured query language. And what in which way are we going to communicate? We write some queries for retrieving the data, in order to fetch the data or to manipulate the data, okay, or to create, to update, whatever it might be, friends. Okay, in order to do some actions, okay, on this database, we have to learn structured query language. Okay, so as part of this structured query language SQL, there is a topic called joins and union, also union all and union all. Okay, so what is this union all, and what is this joins? Let us understand what are the joins, what is the concept of joins, and what is the concept of union and union all. Because if we understand these two topics, only if we understand these two topics, we can understand merge and append in Power Query Editor. If not, there is no use of working on these two topics. They are completely dependent only on joins and union. It's nothing but union all. Okay, so let us understand initially, joins. So focus, friends, because we are going to learn something new today. Because majority of us are not familiar with the topics of SQL, right? So focus. Joins. What is the general meaning of join? Friends, what is the meaning of English meaning? Join. Attaching. Okay. Attach. I take this word. Then what else? Combine. Good. Yeah, so obviously mix. Yes. So obviously what you are doing, you are trying to attach, combine, right? So the name itself is telling join is nothing but combining. What you are going to combine, in the sense, we are going to combine tables. Okay, we are going to combine two or more than two tables, right? So do you remember sets and relations topic that we have learned in our schooling? Probably seventh or eighth or ninth standard. Okay, when we are studying these three standards, somewhere across in our mathematics subject, we have come across sets and relations. Do you remember, friends? Yep. Okay, don't ask me such kind of questions, I'm not that much good in mathematics. Still, I'm just asking, do you remember or not? That's it. I'm not asking you guys to explain this topic. Okay. So, why am I just bringing this topic is joins is completely dependent only on sets and relations. Okay. So, uh, if you are familiar with sets and relations, okay, then it's very easy to understand joins topic. Oh, isn't it? Yes. Let me explain. If suppose there is a table, this is table 1, and there is one more table, this is table 2. What is the meaning of join? Join is nothing but combining. Yeah, combining two or more than two. So at least if you want to join, if you want to perform join, you have to, it's mandatory that we have to have at least two tables or more than two tables. Yes. So joins are nothing but combining the tables, okay, especially the columns. Especially the columns. So when you try to apply join, the table, the output results in this fashion. Number of columns get increased. So vertical manner, the combining will be or the attaching, whatever it might you may use. Okay, when you try to use join, the number of columns get increased. Okay, so how is this joins are applied? What are the different types of joins we have? Let us understand. So in SQL, this is also called as SQL, structured query language. So in SQL, there are many types of joins, but I'll talk about the famous or widely used joins. Okay. So the first join is full join. Full join. Next one, inner join. Third one, left join. Fourth one, right join. Fifth, left outer. Sixth, right outer. Oh, Akhil, do we have only six joins? No, friends. Still, I can keep on adding. Okay, we have cross join. Okay, there is full outer. So we have still a few more joins, but these six are important. Let us talk about these six. Okay, so full join. What do you mean by full join? In the sense, so assume table 1 as this circle. Okay, then table 2 as this circle. Table 1, table 2. Full join means, you know, the records from both the tables. All. Full, right? So all. Full join, when we try to join the two tables, the output will have the records from all the tables. Table 1 and table 2. Okay. Then what is inner join? Inner, right? So I'm talking about inner. Inner join means only the combined part, the intersection part. Okay, the output will have only the intersection part as the output. The records, the common records between the tables will be given as output for inner join. Okay, then right, then left join. Left join means all the records from the left table, including the matching records from the left table. I mean, including the intersection, whatever the common records that we have, okay, including them, we also get the records from left table only. Okay, so what will be right join? Right join will be quite opposite to left join. So all the records from right table, including the intersection part. So the hatching will be like this, friends. So this is for left join, and let me draw the Venn diagram for right join. So this will be for right join, right table, left table. Okay. Then what is the next join? The next join that we have is left outer. What is the meaning of left outer is the records from left table only. Okay, only from the left table, which does not include the intersection part. Okay, the common records that we have will not be included as the output for left outer. Left only, this left outer is also called as left only join. So the output will have only the records from the left table, excluding the intersection records, the common records. Okay, now tell me what will be the output for right outer, friends? Right outer join. What will be the output for right outer? Right outer will be vice versa, opposite to left outer. So only the records from right table, excluding the common, okay, only from the right table, excluding the common records. Understood or not? First of all, if you understand these joins, only then we can understand merge queries option. If not, it will be like a movie playing in front of us. That's it. Yes. So I'll quickly revise all of these joins one more time. Okay. So let me do it. Right. So full join. Full join is nothing but when we try to apply full join on two tables, all the records from both the tables will be given as output. So all the records, if I have 6 records here and 10 records here, the output will contain 16 records. Okay, inner join will result as only the common records. Whatever the common records that we have between the tables will be given as output for inner join. Left join, all the records from the left table, including the common part, intersection part, and right join, all the records from the right table, including the intersection or common part. Left outer, the records from the left table, excluding the common or intersection. Right outer join, all the records from the right table, excluding the common or intersection. Okay, so in this way, we can combine tables. We can combine tables, and when we perform especially joins, the number of columns increases, friends. Okay, the number of columns will increase. So we'll take a use case, we'll take some tables, and we'll perform joins. Right. So joins concept is clear. Now let me talk about union and also union all. Akhil, what is this union and union all operator in SQL? What does it do? So, as we have understood, joins are performing, they are combining the tables. Even union and union all also does the same. They are used to combine the tables. Oh, then what makes the difference between joins and union? The question raises, you know, when we want to perform union and union all operators, okay, make sure the tables will not be added in horizontal manner. Tables will be added in vertical manner. See, so what does this mean? This mean, you know, number of rows get, you know, number of rows gets increased. So this is table 1, table 2, table 3. But there is a condition for union and union all. There is a condition for union and union. What is the condition? Union and union all initially checks for the number of columns present in all these three tables. So number of columns, okay, whatever the columns that are present in table 1 should be the same with the number of columns present in table 2 and table 3 as well. Okay, even with the data type, okay, even with the data type also, friends, the data type also should match. If there is any kind of issue, it does not combine, it throws error. Okay, so one thing that I can comment is when I apply join, it performs the tables, it combines the tables and number of columns get increased. And if I perform union and union all in SQL, the number of rows get increased. Because here also it is combining the tables. Yes. Then what is the difference between union and union all? Okay. Union actually, when it is combining the tables, it removes the duplicates. Okay. See, for example, there is a record in table 1. Okay, there is a record R1 and the same record R1 was identified in table 2 also. So when it is combining the table vertically, since R1 is already present in table 1, it removes the duplicates. It removes R1 from table 2. Then it combines. Okay, but union all, it does not remove the duplicates. All the records from table 1 and all the records from table 2 will be given as is in the output. So since union is working on the duplicates, it is bit slower compared to union all. And union all, since it's not working on the duplicates, union all is faster compared to union. Okay, so this is high level understanding of joins and union all topics in SQL. Okay, if you understand this topic, whatever we have discussed so far, these two will become very easy, friends. Okay, just we have to understand the output, that is enough. If you understand the output, that is more than enough. Okay, I assume no questions, but if you have any questions, yes, please feel free to ask so that I'll make, I'll repeat one more time if possible. Make it fast, friends. Any questions regarding joins, union and union all topics in SQL, structured query language? Clear? Yeah, thanks. So let's continue because as I have, told yesterday that we have to complete this merge and append queries option today. Okay, these two has to be completed today because it's very simple. If you understand the concept, it's very simple, right? So let us perform append first. Append queries, nothing but it performs. Why use SQL? That's what I have already, already promised, right? See, SQL is a language. See, what is the use of Telugu? Or what is the use of English? Tell me, friends. Why should we learn English? Why should we learn a language? There will be a certain reason. What is the reason? If I want to communicate with a person who is not aware of any other language except English, so that specific language will be a medium to communicate with that specific person. In the same way, yes, for communication. In the same way, SQL is a language, but it's a query language. Okay, so this language is used to communicate with the databases. Okay, it's used for communicating with the databases. In order to communicate with the DB, I have to learn SQL. Okay, so this SQL contains only queries. Okay, so these queries is what we learn as part of SQL, right? And there are two important topics like joins and union and union all. We have understood them in our class. That's it. Please repeat union and union all. Okay. Union and union all are also used for combining the data, the tables, but in vertical manner. So when we try to use union and union all operators in SQL, what happens is the tables get combined in vertical fashion, one over the other. Then next to that, we'll have the next table. In such fashion, the tables get combined. But if I want to use union and union all, there are some conditions. What are the conditions? The conditions are, if I have 10 columns in table 1, the same 10 columns should be part of table 2. The same 10 columns should be part of table 3. So can you give an example, Akhil? Yes. For example, I'm operating a business across India, east, west, north, south. Okay, so if I want to get the overall sales of my product, whatever I'm going to sell in the market, so I'll get initially the south people will hold the information of sales in south, west they'll record the data in the west region, north people they'll record the data in the north region, then east people they'll record the data in the east region. But if I want to look at all the sales across the country, I'll apply union or union all. So that what happens, all these tables that I have in my hand, 4 tables, south sales, east sales, west sales, and north sales, I'll combine and I'll get the overall sales. Okay, so this again, what operator are you going to use? Union or union all? Union, it works on the duplicates, whereas union all, it does not work on the duplicates. So since it is not working on the duplicates, union all will be faster. Union all operator will be faster compared to union. Okay, that makes the difference between union and union all. Right. So when is union all preferred? Simple. When you don't want to, treat duplicates in your data, and when you want the entire data to be written as it is, go with union all. But when you want your data to be free of duplicates, go with union. So depending on the requirement, use the operator. That's it. Okay, so append queries, whatever you see in home tab, under home tab we have combine ribbon. So under combine ribbon we have append queries as one of the options. So this append queries performs union all operator. It performs union all operator. Right, so now let me work on initially append queries. Merge queries does joins. Append queries does union all operator. Queries are nothing but tables. Okay, right. So Akhil, initially we should have the data, right? So let us load the data or import the data. Sure. So what is the process? Should I go back to Power BI desktop? Not required. I can do, or I can import the data within Power Query Editor itself. How? Under Home tab, you see there is new source or recent sources. Okay, wherever the data is, You can connect to that location. Okay, you can connect to that source. So I'll go and check with Excel workbook. So this is my Excel sheet, Excel file. I'm clicking on open. Now I'll get the navigator window open. Okay, you see, I have employees working in the north, employees working in the south, and employees working in the west. So three different locations. For example, if my requirement is, let me show you the data here so that we'll understand well. So south region, I have 5 people, working in the south region in my company, and in the north region, 4 people are working for my company, and the same in the west region, 4 people. So if I want the overall employees details, what I can do, I can perform union, all right, or I can perform union. So in Power BI, it is nothing but append. Excuse me. So what I have to do is, initially I have to import the data into Power BI. So I'm selecting all the three at a time. Then I'll click on OK. I'll click on OK. You see, number of queries became 4. Number of queries became 4. So this 4 is representing number of tables. Okay, there are 4 tables. So what I'm doing is, let me go and use append queries. For that, so depending on the query that we select, okay, so if you are selecting west, you'll get the information or the upgrade steps only for that specific query. Go with south, so the same, because we have got from the same source. Then are the headers promoted properly? Yes, they are promoted properly at me, no issue. Then cool, you not worry. Let us go and check for the north as well. Yes, here also it is seen. The headers are promoted properly. Even the type is also maintained good. Okay, so no issues with the type, no issues with the headers. So can we go and use append queries directly? Yes. For that, initially select one of these three. Mean, whatever the tables that you are going to, on which of the tables you are going to perform append queries, select any one of these three. Selected. Let me go with employees south. Then under home tab, we have append queries option. Just click on this drop down. If you click on this drop down, you will get two options. One is for append queries and the next one is append queries as new. What makes the difference is, when we select append queries, okay, so for this query itself, I mean for this table, within this table itself, the rest two tables will be added. That's what append queries does. What does append queries as new means is, a new table, a new query will be created for the entire output. So you have to decide, either you want a new table or do you want to see the output for the same table, within the same table. I want to go and have my output as a new table, so I'm going to use append queries as new. So you get a pop-up window open asking, to select the tables. So concatenate rows from two tables into a single table. So if you are actually combining only two tables, it's very easy. First tables and second table, you can select from here and there. But am I only concatenating two? No, right? I'm going to concatenate three. So I have to select the next option, three or more tables. Then, you have to add the tables to append. Why I already have south is because south was already selected. Employee south table was already selected. Now add rest of the tables that need to be appended. One is north. So the moment you selected north, add option became active. Click on add. North table has been added to this append table. And what else to be added? Just do the same action. Click on add. So whatever the tables that you want to append are lying in the same box. Yes. Now click on OK. Job done. How simple it is. Check. So how many employees should we have? 5 plus 4 plus 4. So it means 13. So I have the entire information regarding my employees throughout the country. See, did it create a new query? Yes. It created a new query for me in which I have the output. I have the output. Can I change this, you know, uh, query name? Yes, double click on it. If you double click on it, you are able to edit it. Okay, so I'll keep it as entire employees data, and then I'll click on enter. Done. Done. How simple? So what happened is, to the south data, north data has been appended, then to the output, west data has been appended. So within a table, I'm able to see 13 records at a time. Is it simple or not? Is it easy or not? Am I doing any kind of work in the backend? Nothing. Nothing, friends. Did I write any code? No. Did I write any query? No. But if you see the M language, this is there is a function called combine. It was being used, and using combine function, we got the appended output, the final output. It's very easy. To be frank, it's very easy because if you are familiar with SQL, or say even go with Python, not only Python, any programming language, if you want to get the same output, you have to struggle a bit compared to what we have done now. So that is the reason within a single tool, I'm able to do each and every task. And that's the power of Power BI. Right, let us keep all this aside. Let us also complete this merge queries. So in order to complete merge queries, I'll introduce one more table for you. There is a table which has department details, the department and the lead. Okay, so let me also import this table into Power Query Editor. The same process. Click on the source, select the file, then click on open. The navigator window gets open. Then select the sheet. So this is the table, and once after selecting the sheet, click on OK. So if you see properly, there are in total 6 queries. Now let us go and check whether Power BI have done properly for department details or not. So the source navigation is done, but it failed to promote the headers. Yes, I see department and team lead in record one, which are not promoted as headers. These are the headers, but it did not do properly. So what I am supposed to do, I'll remove this particular step. Now I'll use the same step, the same option that we have used yesterday. Use first row as headers. So the moment we have used this option, based on the data, the values that are present in the columns, it also gives the type. Now it's perfect. So friends, this is my entire data. This is my entire employees data. And for these employees, there are some technical team leads. There are some team leads depending on the department. So can we combine these two? Akhil will do one thing. for the folks that we have, for the employees, I don't see the team leads data for within the same table. Why don't we combine department details table and entire employees data table? Okay, let us do that as well. For that, I'm going to use merge queries. I'm going to use merge queries. Again, if you click on the drop down, you'll find the same two options like append queries. Okay, the first one is merge queries. So do you want to see the output in the same table that you have selected, or do you want the output in a new table? Merge queries as new. So obviously I want the output in a new table. I'm not interested to disturb the table that I have now. So let me select merge queries as new. A pop-up gets open. Again, the task. So what are the two tables that we are going to join? One is entire employees data, which we already have, uh, which we already have it in table one. So this is entire employees data. What is the next one? Department details. So table one, table two. Okay, so what it is telling, select tables. Tables are selected and matching columns. So when you especially try to join friends, there is a condition. The condition is there should be at least one matching column in both the tables. So what is the matching column that you see here? Is it employee ID? No. First name? No. Last name? No. Department? Yes. I have department in both the tables, and this will be the matching column. And this will be the matching column. Okay, so it is also asking us to select the matching column. I'll select here and I'll also select here. Done. Make sure both the columns, I mean the matching column present in both the tables should be selected. It's clearly written over here. Select tables, select the matching column. Once if you are done selecting the matching column, what kind of join are you going to apply? You are supposed to select. Okay. So from this drop down, from this list of joins, okay, which join are we going to use? First of all, before we apply any kind of join, let us understand what type of joins are available. Full join, nothing but all rows from both. Okay. Inner join, only the matching records. That's what we have understood. Left outer, friends, left outer in Power BI means left join in SQL. Don't assume left outer is also left outer in SQL. Left outer in Power BI means left join in SQL. Akhil, on what basis do you say that? Just read the content that we have inside the braces. All from first, nothing but all from the left table, matching from second. That means the intersection part, the common records. So what kind of join it is? Left join in SQL. Okay, so there is no left join in Power BI. It is written as left outer. Don't get confused. Okay, just because of we have learned left outer join in SQL. Okay, here also we have left outer. That doesn't mean both are same. Left outer in Power BI means left join in SQL. In the same way, right outer in Power BI means right join in SQL. Then like left anti, right anti, friends. Left anti in Power BI means left outer in SQL. Okay, right anti in Power BI means right outer in SQL. So just map. If you at least go through these, at least go through the content that is present in the braces, you can understand. That's not at all an issue. Right. So let me apply full join first. I'm applying full join. That means records from both, you know, uh, both the tables will be part of the output. And also there is an option that we have to select or not, okay, which talks about fuzzy matching. What is this fuzzy matching? Fuzzy matching means the common column, the matching column that we have selected, okay, what if the values are in one column if they are in uppercase, and in one column in the other table, okay, if they are in lowercase, that doesn't mean both are different, right? Both of them are same. HR, if I have it in uppercase in first table, and the same HR if I have it in lowercase in second table, that doesn't mean, does it mean both are different? No, both of them mean same. So when you try to use fuzzy matching, when you click on this fuzzy matching, what happens is, even though if there are some kind of case issues, or if there are kind of some space issues and all, characters, any wild characters and all, if they are present, it ignores all of them. It tries to match the values only, the characters only, then it performs the join as is. Okay, I'm clicking on OK, friends. Just have a look. Done. Join, I mean, full join is done. Did it return a new table? Yes. Previously it is 6. Now it became 7. So the name of the table is merge 1. So where is the output again? Just move to the left of your table. I mean, towards the right side of the table. So till here, it belongs to part of left table, right? Till performance, it is part of left table, performance score. So employment details, I mean department details, which is the second table, the right table, the entire data for the department details will be present in this table, in this column. So you see two arrow marks pointing towards opposite direction. Just click on it. If you click on it, there will be a pop-up, which means we are asking it to expand. How many columns we have inside this department details? Only two, department detail. I want both of them to be visible. Okay, and I also want to use the table name as the prefix name for the column, so that I will not get confused, because I have department column present in entire employees data, and I also have department column present in department details. So if I use prefix of the table name in front of the column names, I'll not get confused. I'm clicking on OK. See, so this is department and this is team lead. Done. I think, did we get 13 rows? I mean, did we get all the rows from both the tables? Yes. You see, table 1 has 13 rows, table 2 has 4 rows. So the output obviously will be 13, because it itself covers all the rows. But why do we see null values present in, record 10, 11, 12, 13? Why? Let me, just move a bit. The department, first of all, what is the matching column between table 1 and table 2? Department. Okay. HR matches. So that is the reason I'm able to see, the lead. So in this way, IT department, there is a lead. In the same way for finance, there is a lead. But after marketing, there is a department called engineering. Is there any lead for engineering? No. How do you tell it? Is there any information here? No. So if there is no information, obviously it returns null values. Null, null. Then for sales, no. If there is no value for particular record, it should return null. I hope you got my point, friends. So if there are values present for that matching column, you will find the values. If not, it returns null values. Okay. Again, let us, not go for, let us not go for But full join. Let us do inner join. So you need not repeat the step again. Just click on the gear button. So here we'll make it as inner. What does inner means? Inner means only the matching records between the two tables. So the matching records between the tables will be written. That's it. See, let me expand the table again. Do you see null values? No. First of all, do you have 13 record? No. Excuse me. I got only 9. What about rest of the 4? For rest of the 4, they are not part of the common. They are not part of the intersection values. What are the intersection values that we have? HR, IT, finance, marketing. Only these two departments are present in both the tables. You see here? So this is table 1 and this is table 2. Is there any information regarding engineering and sales in table 2? No. So obviously you will not get the information of uncommon records. Only the intersection part, only the common records will be returned between the output. So in this way, you can experiment whatever join you want to do. Okay, so again, I'll go back. I'll give it as left outer. Left outer means left join. So left join returns all the records from the left table, that is table 1, and only the records from the matching records from table 2. See, 13, all the records, because table 1 has 13, all the records will be returned as is, as is. But if you see, for 4 records, the values are null. The reason is, for these 4 people, there is no lead. They belong to engineering and sales. The same. Okay. In the same way, I'll also perform right outer. So which means all the records from right table, all the records from right table, including the matching. Okay. So we'll get only 9. The reason is, you see, the rest of the people, they doesn't have team lead, so they'll not be returned. The same process means, if you understand the logic, you need not uh, mug up the what you are going to get as the output. It's just only understanding the or interpreting the output. That's it. I hope you got my point. So in this way, we can perform append queries and merge queries. Okay, I'm saving this. Further control S is enough. Okay, so I'm clicking on apply. Even though if you click on close and apply, okay, it redirects us to Power BI desktop. Click on close and apply. It redirects us to Power BI desktop. See, it's loading all queries information. As the number of queries got increased from day 1 till day 4, if you observe. Okay, so I see all of them have been loaded. I'll click on close and apply. So Power Query Editor gets closed and all the 7 queries you'll observe under data pane. Okay, so before I close the session, I'll click on save button. That's it. Done. Right? So if you have any kind of questions, yes, feel free to ask. If not, we are done for the day. And there are a few more options that we have to discuss. Probably we'll complete our Power Query Editor tomorrow, friends. Okay, then the new component comes into the picture. So this is how we are going to travel as part of this program. Yep, any questions? Communications field. Communications in the sense, what kind of communications? Thank you. What kind of communications field you are referring, friend? See, I'll tell you one thing. Wherever there is data, Power BI is useful. Okay, if you are running any business, or if you are you know part of any business, if you are having some data, and if you want to do some kind of analysis, if you want to visualize the data, Power BI is obviously helpful. Okay, so that's what, depending, there is no particular field where there is no data being generated nowadays. Am I right? Yes. So if there is any domain which does not have data, so please let me know. There is no such kind of fields, right? Yes. You take any field, data will be generated on daily basis, and if the data is being saved, and if you want to do some kind of analysis, and if you want to visualize the data, go with the BI tool, and the leading BI tool is Power BI. Okay, right. Thank you so much, friends. I'm getting a very good feedback from all of you. I'll maintain the same pace across the program. Okay, in the upcoming sessions as well. But what I request you to do is parallelly post the session. At least take any data set, whatever it might be. Okay, whatever it might be, take a data set and try to use these options, so that you'll get habituated of using these. You'll get some hands on the tool. Okay, so when you get hands on, you can keep or add it as a skill in your resume. Yes, right. Yep. So that's all for the day. We'll meet in the next session. Until then, take care, friends. But before you leave, if you feel this session is amazing, just hit on the like button, and also share across multiple channels. Ask your friends, your relatives, or whomever it might be, your well wishers. Ask them to join these sessions and get some information, get some idea on Power BI, because nowadays people who work on this tool, they're getting paid huge. Okay, so that is the reason we are just doing these sessions. And yep, that's it, friends. Thank you so much for joining. We'll connect in the next session. Until then, take care. Bye. Signing off.